Hello, I'm Indiana Jones and welcome to my channel and welcome to the Dark Academia Valentines playlist. Myself and all my crafty friends decided to join together to celebrate Valentine's Day in a different and darker way with a Dark Academia aesthetic. Let's get started. If you're new to the whole term of Dark Academia, just know that the whole aesthetic or the decor is developed around the idea of being in a beautiful old-fashioned library. Being such, I decided to create a little book nook. A book nook is something that you would tuck away within a library to have a surprising little vignette or a diorama within all of the books to kind of help you escape even more than the stories within the books in themselves. So here I'm just taking some a cardboard box from Amazon once again, and just wallpapering it, basically using some scrap paper to wallpaper my little library. So I decided for my diorama to make a little library inside. So first I made an arched window, and now I'm just wallpapering the walls, and of course it needs a floor. And what's better than a checkered floor for that vintage kind of library look? Next, I'm going to be measuring out the actual book nook and cutting it down, and I'm going to take the flaps and just paste them over or glue them to the sides. Now don't worry, I know it looks ugly now, but that will be covered in just a moment. If this is your first time looking into Dark Academia, there's lots of videos out on the internet, and I even have some other DIYs which I will link here so you can keep getting inspired by the Dark Academia aesthetic. Now I decided to create a frame for my window in the library, and I'm using some air dry clay and some molds that I had. Of course, I'm going to cut down the molds so you don't see all that extra clay that has come out to the sides. And here I am just bending it and fitting it to the window shape. I did decide to get rid of those little, I guess the crossbars on the window after a while. And then I decided to make some frames that had these beautiful little molds, which are perfect for some antique picture frames. Now for the pictures themselves, I didn't show actually where I got them from, but I used the back of calendars. Usually you can see the artwork for the whole month miniaturized on the back of many calendars. So that's what I used as the artwork. If not, you can always print something from places like the Graphics Fairy. And here I'm just making some more trim for this chair because the chair had a skull and I wanted to cover the skull, so I effectively did that with some clay and some. Next, I needed a bookcase, of course, for a library. So here comes the ubiquitous popsicle sticks. That was a good word, ubiquitous. And popsicle sticks and this little Dollar Tree or $1.25 little dollhouse furniture, which I am just using some acrylic paint, and I watered it down a little bit, and I'm just varnishing it or staining it. And now I'm doing the same. I'm staining the trim around the window because I wanted it to look like wood, not plaster. So here I am just staining the trim that's going to go around the window. Next, I used some antique gold for those little frames that I used for the paintings that I'm going to put on my library wall. I love doing this, and I will be doing more of these little tiny frames for other crafts coming soon. Now I'm just going to join together that little dresser with my bookcase. And now for the books, what I used was that white foam sheets, the thicker ones, and I just cut them down and painted the covers in nicely bright colors, I suppose, so that it would add a little bit more to my little library. Now we're putting it together. I already secured my bookcase and my little books and also my paintings, as well as the chair that I have changed up so that it wouldn't have those skulls. Again, that's a chair that I got at Michael's during the $5 gift, grab boxes. Now I'm just adding some vellum to the window, just so it would have a nice color to it and add a little warmth to the window. Now on the other side of the box, I am using the rest of the box to be able to create the walls outside. But it's just not going to be any kind of walls. I'm actually going to cover the little book nook with an arched archway. I just thought it would look so much cuter with this little archway coming into the library or looking into the library. Actually, I could have added some vellum to the outside or, some clear plastic just to make it look like you're looking into the library. So now I'm just going to glue this down. But before I do this, I'm actually going to give the wall some texture. So I'm going to make it look like cement at first. And, there you go. And then I'm going to add some texture by creating some faux bricks using a stencil. I have this little stencil, and what I did with the paint was I actually mixed it with a little bit of caulking and some baking powder just to give it more texture and make it look more like little bricks outside. And I think it just gives it such a great antique library look. Next, I wanted to put a vine right outside my library window, and of course added some fairy lights because, why not? It's my little library nook. It's my little book nook. Love that word, book nook. Book nook, book nook. Hey, I haven't sung anything yet. So here I am adding some little flowers because it's springtime. I wanted it to be nice and light and springy. Look at it. Oh my gosh. Of course, I added some moss to the bottom. I'm surprised myself. I really did surprise myself with this. But I added some moss to the bottom so it would just look like the moss was growing up onto this old library wall while we're peeking in. Now, this was very clever because that light is actually the top of an old perfume bottle that I had, and I just put some fairy lights in and I glued it to the top and made it look like a light fixture. Now I'm just gluing the outside cement brick wall to my book nook to finish it off. And I actually added a little bicycle to that side. I don't think I showed it on the video, but I do add a little bicycle. Look how nice it looks. And here is my own little library book nook. I hope you try it yourself. As the hostess of the Dark Academia Valentine's playlist, I'm inviting you to enter to win part of my craft stash. You must be a U.S. resident, and you must visit all of the channels that are featured in the playlist and answer their questions down in the comments below. In an effort to reuse and recycle and not to purchase and spend too much money, especially in the month of January when I was trying to film this, I'm reusing materials that I already had. Now, this is something that I created for my kitchen last year, and I decided to use this to kind of bring to life an idea that I had in my mind for Valentine's Day in a dark academia aesthetic. I would say books and book pages are primary to the dark academia aesthetics. So even if you put some books together with some lace and ribbon and just make it very like vintage looking and antique looking, you're on your way to start a dark academic aesthetic. Now, I decided this is kind of symbolic for me. I don't know why, but Valentine's Day has never been one of my favorite days. And as I was ripping apart these pieces of paper to put this heart together, I was thinking how much our hearts are just like this heart, Sometimes it's been torn apart and ripped to shreds, but still it finds its way to be a full heart. And maybe those little shreds and pieces that are broken apart and seem so just incongruous, we somehow hold it together with hope and love, and we always have that whole complete heart to try to always give love and receive love. So I don't know, I saw this as very symbolic of my own heart that has been broken here and there through time, but it doesn't mean it's any less valuable or any less beautiful. So because I was thinking, it's a broken heart, blah, blah, blah. So, let me brighten it up with some roses. This rose tissue paper from Jim Holtz, I can't remember his name. But I just love these roses, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is such a perfect compliment to that heart, that broken heart in the middle, the shredded heart in the middle. And it didn't stop there because I was thinking, it's not that bleak. And even though Valentine's Day is all about romantic love, it also celebrates all kinds of love. So because of this, I thought, you know what, I should have some blossoming yellow roses in the middle, because with God's help, He always heals us and brings new life to our little broken hearts. Now, I hope this helped you if you're having a sad and lonely Valentine's Day. And now to finish it off, I just added a nice little green ribbon. And of course, every heart should have a key. So there I'm adding a little wooden key from the Dollar Tree. And there you go. My little wall hanging is complete with Dark Academia Valentines in mind. I thought it would make a fun and fast little craft that would be perfect in any Dark Academia Valentine's setup. And what I'm using here is a double-sided or double paned or double framed glass that you would usually just slip a picture in. But here I'm going to use some of that Jim Holtz, and it's Jim Holtz tissue once again. He has the most beautiful tissue for decoupaging, and I'm just putting a little Mod Podge in the corners. I didn't want to put it on the inside or all over the whole entire glass because I am going to shine a light behind it or a candle behind it, and that's why I just put it on the glass like this. Now I'm going to create a kind of like a botanical collection. I saw this separated like this with the frame. Again, this is another Dollar Tree frame, and I thought it was perfect for the Dark Academia aesthetic. And all I'm doing again is using book pages. Book pages are wonderful to create a Dark Academia aesthetic. And all I'm doing is painting it or adding a little bit of water and acrylic paint to kind of antique the pages, the book pages. Next, I'm just going to decoupage this onto the cardboard that was already included in the Dollar Tree frame, or $1.25. Well, it's still Dollar Tree, the Dollar Tree frame. And what I'm going to do is create a little botanical collection with the 3 frames. And I am once again using some of the flowers that I had saved from my mom's funeral. These are flowers that had come to me, and I decided to save them because all of my friends were so special and so kind as to think of me. So as I put this together, I do think of my mom, but most especially I think of all the love I received and all the care from my friends, and many of which I've made through YouTube, and I'm so grateful for that. So here I am celebrating love by including these flowers in this little artwork that I'm going to be putting together for my theme. And I really love the fact that I can use these and think of my friends and think of all the love and care that I received during a very difficult time in my life. If you're going through a tough time right now with Valentine's Day, just look at the people around you who are caring and loving for you, and don't be afraid to reach out, because there's always a hand to help you. And there you have it. To enter to win, remember to visit the playlist and answer the questions in the comments below, and US residents only, please. My question, which of these projects do you think you want to try for your home? Once again, with the concept of reuse and recycle, I decided to use this vase that I had made into an apothecary jar by adding a little candlestick holder, a glass candlestick holder, both from the Dollar Tree, and decided to use some Prima molds to bring it into the Dark Academia aesthetic or a Victorian aesthetic. You can also call it a Victorian style. It is very much like the Baroque or Victorian style, very decorative. But again, books and literature are at the heart of it. And for me, like my favorite books of that period or that era, especially romantic books, would be things like Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, and of course anything by Jane Austen. So here I'm using a Prima mold and of course my DAV air dry clay, and very carefully taking out those molds. They were very fiddly, as they say, because I didn't want it to be too thick since it was going to be on glass. As you can see, I used a bag of sugar to secure the vase while I was working on it. And all I'm doing is shaping it around so that it can dry properly before I affix it to the glass with the E6000. I really love this mold, and I will probably be using this mold all throughout springtime. It's absolutely perfect, and I love the fact that it has little bird molds so that I can create a lot of different bird looks, and again, especially for the spring. So here I am just adding more to embellish the this little I guess branch, flowered branch. I decided to create some more flowered branches, and actually created a little branch of my own to have for my little bird to rest upon. So here I am adding my little bird, as you can see, and I just love birds in any kind of paintings, and in this I just thought it was perfect. And I love getting prepared for springtime. So just because it says it's Dark Academia, there is another version called Light Academia, and there's going to be another playlist that I'm going to be a part of that celebrates Light Academia. So here I am taking some antique gold, and of course I'm using folk art, which is from Plaid. I love to craft forever, because I really do. I really love to craft, and I hope that you can see that. So here you can see the progression. Yes, I know you can see the white on the other side, but you know, what can we do? But I am going to fix it so that it goes all the way to the edge of the glass. So my question for the entry is, which one of these projects do you think you'll try for your own home? Which one fits already in your look or in your design? Or would you like to include a little dark academic aesthetics into your home? And which one do you think you'll try to start it out? Remember to please go and visit all of the creators on the playlist and comment with their questions down below. As I was staging for the final looks, I decided to put together these books with some lace and this beautiful lacy black ribbon, just to add a little more academic romance to my staging area. And here I'm just adding some beautiful silk flowers that I got at Michael's. These were from Halloween, believe it or not, or from the fall. And I just love the colors. They're so perfect and romantic. And adding a final touch of some beautiful black rose leaves. I just think it brings it all together. And even though it's dark, it doesn't mean to be spooky. Just a little bit more romantic and intimate for your Valentine's Day decor. For the paper book page roses, I made a live tutorial, which is linked right here if you'd like to learn to make these for yourself. I hope you enjoyed our adventure into dark academic aesthetics. I want to thank all of my creators and crafters friends that joined me on this playlist, and of course to all of you. Please remember to comment down below, and thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel for more adventures. As I always say, stay safe, be kind. God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. Lots of love to you.